Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining. Thank you for joining the software test drive once again. It's a pleasure to have you here as always. Test drive is our monthly webinar where we talk about everything software test automation. And like always, it's a pleasure to have you here. Today is going to be very exciting because it's not just any edition, it is the anniversary edition. It means it's been one full year since we started the software test drive. We've brought amazing guest speakers here and there from different countries across the world. We've done different topics around APIs to mobile to different kind of frameworks. And it's great to see that you're still with us 1 year after. And this is the anniversary edition. Like I said, the software test drive is our monthly test automation webinar where we talk about frameworks, tips and tricks, how to's, careers, AMA sessions with industry leaders, and much more. And today is going to be very exciting because it is fully packed with so many amazing and then move into other sessions. We'll have an inspiring career story by one of our guest speakers, and then the panel session where we're going to have all of our guest speakers answer certain questions related to the theme of this edition. And of course, as usual, we're going to have the trivia, the game session where we get to go home with cash prizes. Remember that because it's a special edition, we're going to have lots of freebies. Aside the cash prizes, it won't be just one person going in with a cash prizes time. At the same time, we're also going to have other freebies. Some people get free shirts. Some people get free subscriptions valued at 1K plus, and quite a lot of other things that is up for grabs for today's edition. I guess because I'm very much set, and we're just going to get this started. As you have a lot of AI assistants in the call today, everybody's trying to take notes, which makes a lot of sense. Before we go ahead, by the way, please take a minute to quickly join us on social media. We are available on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So the links will be dropped right in the chat box. So please do well to take just about 30 seconds now and just click that link, follow, and you'll be able to get access to any information regarding any of our programs or maybe the latest additions to our features and capabilities list. Okay, I'm counting my 30 seconds before we get started with the keynote speech right away. I had to go back. I don't want you to see my guest speaker yet. Oh, you guys saw the flyer. Sorry. Okay. In just about 30 seconds, we're going to go ahead. We also have a Slack community, by the way, where you can not only interact with other people and get access to opportunities, you also get to ask questions, regarding if you have any issues with test automation generally or with Scandium, you want to know how to do something, you get answers directly. Okay, I think our 30 seconds is up, and we're going to go right into the engagement, the meat of the matter. Of course, even after this, you can still go ahead to follow us on social media. So here, I would hand off to Ijoma. Hello, Ijoma. Take it away. You're muted, Ijoma.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jaffa, for the introduction. My name is Ijoma Unka. I'm the Community Programs Manager at Scandium, and I'll be leading this webinar for a very long time. So you should never get used to me. So, okay, I'm going to share my screen now to introduce our guest speaker for our keynote speech. Let me know when you can see my screen. Awesome. All right. So for today's keynote speech, we'll be having we'll be having it centered around assuring excellence, the evolution of QA in digital product development. And our keynote speaker is none other than Mr. Mobolaji A. Adumosu. Mr. Mobolaji, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Ijoma, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here. I'm happy to be part of the anniversary edition of Test Drive. Ijoma, would you give me control to take the slides, or you'll be doing that from your end?
Okay, whichever works for you. Do you want me to do for you?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
All right.
Um,
So, my keynote speech. Again, this is just about myself. Yeah. So just a little bit about myself. I hold a first degree in computer science from the University of Abuja and have a master's degree from the University of Manchester. I've worked well over 23 years and acquired technical competencies in application development, software testing and quality assurance, systems integration, IT service operations, process transformation, IT governance, risk and compliance, and the one I think I enjoyed the most in my career is project and program management. I'm an alumnus of Accenture, and I've been involved in several business and digital transformation initiatives, both in the public and private sectors. Currently, I work as the Chief Technology Officer at Coronation Registrars Limited, a part of the Coronation Group. I'm certified to a few standards, Prince 2, project management, ITIL, certified practitioner. I'm a lead auditor for ISO 27001. That's a global standard on information security. I'm a COVID 5 implementer and a number of other IT and project management certifications. I'm a native of Agowe in Ogun State. I'm a Christian and I'm married with two amazing kids. Next slide, please. All right, so my keynote speech is centered around assuring excellence and the evolution of QA in digital product development. Next slide, please. Okay, quality assurance has undergone a remarkable transformation over the past decade. It has evolved from being seen as a dispensable part of software development lifecycle to a critical function that ensures the delivery of high quality products. At Coordination Registrars, where I work as CTO, we have witnessed firsthand the profound impact that robust QA practices can have on our products and services. Take, for example, our flagship product, Shareholder Live. This platform was designed to provide real time insights and engagement opportunities for shareholders. In the early stages of its development, we faced significant challenges related to its performance and user experience. It was through rigorous QA processes, including automated testing and continuous feedback loops, that we were able to refine the product. Next slide, please. So, talking about the business impact of QA, QA is not just about finding and fixing bugs, it is about ensuring that the product meets business objectives and delivers value to the end users, ultimately contributing to the overall success and sustainability of the business. QA helps ensure that the product meets its intended purpose and business goals. For instance, when developing a digital product, if the objective was to create a comprehensive solution, through meticulous QA processes, every feature must be validated to align with this objective, providing a seamless experience for users. Next slide, please. So, a product that functions flawlessly instills confidence in its users, and that's a critical role that QA plays in building this trust. This trust translates into customer loyalty, repeat business, and positive word of mouth, all of which are invaluable to any business. Identifying and addressing issues early in the development process is far more cost effective than fixing them post release. QA helps prevent costly post launch fixes and reduces the risk of major product recalls or downtime. Next, please. In industries with stringent regulatory requirements such as finance and healthcare, QA ensures that products comply with necessary standards and regulations. In today's digital landscape, security is paramount. QA helps identify and mitigate security vulnerabilities, protecting both the business and its customers from potential threats. A seamless and intuitive user experience is critical for the success of any product. QA ensures that the product is user friendly and meets the expectations of its target audience. User centric testing for shareholder life focused on real world scenarios, ensuring that the platform delivered an exceptional user experience. Next slide, please. Evolving attitudes and practices. The attitudes towards QA have shifted dramatically, and it's no longer an afterthought but an integral part of the product development lifecycle. Every successful digital product firm must have embraced this change by integrating QA from the very beginning of their project or fail to build excellent products. This approach ensures that quality is built into the product rather than being inspected at the end. Next slide, please. Looking at the role of test automation and AI, emerging trends such as test automation and artificial intelligence are revolutionizing QA practices. Automated testing tools have enabled us to achieve greater test coverage and faster feedback cycles. For instance, in the development of one of our digital products at Coronation, our automated regression tests allowed us to make quick iterations without compromising on quality. AI driven analytics have been seen to help in predicting and preventing potential issues before they became critical. Next slide, please. This common experience, highlights the importance of effective QA. Ensuring excellence in QA is not just about preventing this frustrating moment, but also building trust and reliability in every product we develop. The rapid evolution of technology has brought about significant changes in how QA is perceived and implemented across the world. I'll just begin to look at some of these applications. A shift to Agile and DevOps. Globally, we are witnessing a shift towards Agile and DevOps methodologies. These frameworks emphasize continuous integration and continuous delivery, CI/CD, which require QA to be integrated throughout the development process. This adoption of agile practices has allowed organizations to deliver updates to products more frequently and with higher quality. Increased adoption of AI and machine learning. AI and machine learning are becoming integral to QA. These technologies enable predictive analytics, automated test generation, and intelligent bug detection. As mentioned earlier, this is now the new normal. Next slide, please. The focus on security testing. With the rise of cyber threats, security testing has become a top priority. Ensuring that products are secure from vulnerabilities is crucial. QA teams are now conducting rigorous security testing for all products, including to protect sensitive data and maintain client trust. Cloud-based testing. The adoption of cloud technologies has transformed QA. Cloud-based testing platforms provide scalability and flexibility, enabling teams to run extensive tests across multiple environments. User-centric testing. Understanding and meeting user expectations is at the core of modern QA practices. User-centric testing focuses on real-world scenarios and usability, ensuring that the product delivers a seamless experience. Next slide. In conclusion, the journey of QA from a nice to have to a must have function has been transformative. It is now recognized as a key driver of business success and customer satisfaction. I'm proud of the strides we have made at my various organizations in building quality driven digital products. As we move forward, let us continue to prioritize excellence in QA, leveraging new technologies and best practices to deliver outstanding products that meet and exceed our customers' expectations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mobolaji, for such an insightful session. There are a lot of things you said that really stuck with me, especially when you mentioned that QA is not just about finding and fixing bugs, but actually making sure that the product you're working on meets the business objectives. So, as a QA professional, don't just go around, I want to find bug, I want to fix it. Whatever you're working on, does it actually meet the objective of the business? So, thank you so much for that,
Absolutely.
Mr. Bolaji. And also, you
You're welcome.
mentioned, sorry.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And also, you mentioned that QA is shifting towards agile methodologies, DevOps, cybersecurity, cloud-based testing. So, as a QA professional, if you really want to upskill, you should probably look into areas like that to give yourself more edge. So, thank you so much for that. And then next on the slide is question and answers. So if you have any question, you can drop them on the chat. During the panel session, Mr. Mobolaji will do his best to attend to all of that. So please, if you have any questions, do well to drop them on the chat. And then if there was something that stuck with you during the session, you can also mention that on the chat as well so that others can learn as well. So moving on, we have an inspirational career story by Unyime Tommy. Unyime, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone. And happy anniversary to
Awesome.
Scandium 10. Can you hear me
Thank you
clearly,
for
please?
joining. Yes, yes, we can hear you. Thank you. So, just an intro about Unyime. Unyime is the co-founder and managing partner at Assuredly, a software quality assurance company. Can anyone hear me? Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. With her team, Unyime brings over 25 years of combined experience across diverse sectors, including banking, logistics, education, recruitment, entertainment, insurance, and financial services. Wow. As a seasoned professional, Yime excels in software quality assurance, program and project management, and compliance. Her passion for innovation, unwavering commitment to excellence, and vast expertise drive success and transformation within organizations, ensuring top-notch products and optimal ROI. Unyime's mission is empowering businesses and executive teams with valuable insights and practical solutions in building their digital products. She's an ex-InterSwitch, ex-Corapay, Bundle, and Nestcoin. Please make welcome Unyime Tommy, co-founder and managing partner at Assuredly, as she shares her inspiring career story with us. Unyime, please, you have the floor. If you're speaking, you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now, please?
Yes, yes, I can.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So thanks, Ijoma, for the introduction. And I was saying that if you've already done this, what else is there to say about my career journey, right? But I think it's still more or less, start from where it all started out, and then walk us to where we currently are today. Okay, so my career journey with quality assurance pretty much a was not a course studied in school, as it were. I think from day one, I just knew that okay, I want not necessarily day one. I think at one point in our lives, we all wanted to do something around medicine, law, and the likes, because basically those were prestigious careers at this time. And I recall that yeah, even in that up until jam, I actually was going with medical. Yeah, I was supposed to read medicine, as it were. And I think I saw an advert of Communal University where they decided out the courses, and there was information at the time. It was called information communication technology, but I think today it's actually it has been converted to information and communication engineering. But basically, I saw the course, I liked the name, and I told my dad, and he was like, "Okay, since you want to try, let's try." So I went in to computer. In my jam, there was nothing like that, but for private schools, that was not so like a must. That it must have been the schools you had picked at jam and all that. So I think that's how it all started. I even as I'm doing that, because in the course it was you doing diverse things, but I just knew that whatever I wanted to do at the end of the day at that point in time was just had to do with computer or IT at the time, as we all called it, which not have the necessary breakdown we currently have today. So in doing that, I think we studied, we finished school, we did IT. I think during my IT, I was into, like, I think all through the IT period, it was actually hardware where, you were fixing computers, mounting motherboards, mounting hard drive. It's really been an interesting journey. And, formatting, installing OSs and all that stuff, right? So that's basically how it all started. And then after IT, it became more interesting to see, okay, these are the potentials. And we dabbled into networking as well, right? Okay, was also interesting. Okay, let's see what this where this will take us. At graduation, I would say I necessarily did not know it was going to be QA. I just knew it just had to be something around tech or computer at the time, as what we normally would call it. And I also did not have a flair for writing code at the time as well. So I just said, okay, let's see how this goes. So I recall that after during NYC, I think one of the tasks I was given was to review. I did my NYC with NIDA, and I think we were supposed to review one of their platforms that they had built. I think that's basically like my very first interaction with, okay, can you confirm that this thing is working? And when find out, like, just review, right? So at that point you didn't have a name. I think the tax was just you guys to go and check out this website and confirm that it's working. That was just the tax. It was not like QA this work or confirm that this is working. And after doing that and all, I think that was even actually what I did say when I was even interviewing at my very first job. So I saw an ad of InterSwitch, and then seeing the ad of InterSwitch, I applied. I think I saw quality assurance then, and I read the job description. I'm like, this is interesting, and I applied. Well, that was no experience, nothing. I just applied, and I think that was in November. I didn't get a call till I think sometime in February, and I missed my first interview with InterSwitch. Actually, I couldn't make it because I was already engaged with another company at the time. Where, funny story, it's not anywhere in my it's actually not anywhere in my CV or anything, but my very first job after NYC was actually a front desk. But yeah, it's not anywhere. Anyways, so I couldn't leave at the time, and and after that, I think what happened was I just sent in a mail to HR. I was like, oh, I can't make this and everything, and then I wouldn't have thought that that would have happened in a Nigerian company to start with. And I think 1 month after, I recall that it was Easter, and I got a mail on Friday. That was a Good Friday to Easter Monday. That I should come again for an interview. And I was like, okay. The second time is a charm or whatever they call it. So I'm like, okay, let's go. And I think I was even in Abuja that period, so I had to come back to Lagos and come and do the exam interview. And that interview day, it was a combination of devs and basically it was a combination of different roles at the same time. So when I think it was William at the time, came in and said, okay, where are the developers? I'm like, I did not apply for developer role or anything. But most of the people there were developers actually. Then I said, okay, yeah, this is the QA business. So I think then Princess and Chigi, who are like call it the foundation to my career in quality assurance, they were the ones that now led the interview. I went in there, and basically it was a conversation as it were. And I think like my experience with, what have you done around quality assurance? And then I mentioned, while I was doing my NYC, we asked to review this and that. And that's basically all I knew was about the room. And then that was it. And, the interview was successful. And then I got my first job as a quality assurance engineer. That I knew that, yeah, well, I did not know what I was doing per se. But the good thing about it was that the good thing was the people that basically, took me in. I would, for everything that it is today, right? The foundation they laid out, the guidance they put into play, helped me come all this way. Because even although it was an entry level job and all, the support system was amazing, the entire stack, the entire stack of the QA. So the QA team was expanding at the time, so they just had few QAs when the QA lead and all that. But and then we were like a bunch of freshers who just came into the role. But the support system was great. Everybody was there to help. Even then, which I miss right now, the developers were even more interested in, testing with you, confirming that things work. You could find developers sitting down with you and even almost writing your test scripts with you to be sure that, all edges are covered and all that stuff. So I'll say that is basically how it started. And currently, not necessarily how it's going, but what has led, to where I am today, right? And I think in terms of challenges, I don't think the challenges have changed since I started until date. I think we still experience the same, even with running Ashadri today, because collaboration is still our work is still human dependent somewhat, right? So no matter how the automation tools that we put into play and all that, right, we still have a dependency, and that dependency still remains the development team, still remains the entire project team, as it were, because if the developers are not also quality centric, you'd on the receiving end would actually, suffer the back and forth with them. And also, if you also do not have the buy-in of everybody in the team who are also quality centric, your issues that you are raising or screaming about may not get the necessary attention that is required to, to solve. So because, and that's one of the things I know that, I had at the beginning of my career, where if QA say this thing is not working and cannot go to production, there is nothing anybody can do about it. Like, everybody stands still until QA says yes. And I think we need to bring that back, right? Where if QA says no, it's a no, and if QA says yes, it's a yes. So that's one of the things that, I would say was and that is basically how, has helped us into, working into where we currently are today, where I know that basically I think as Princess would say, you are the gatekeeper to production. And basically, so when things go wrong, they are not calling the developers, they're not calling the PMs, they're calling the QAs, because you said this thing is good to go and you'll let it go out there, right? So that's like call it I think we need back that like call it that authority, or like we need to have take it back, right, and ensure that, because that is basically what helped us then, and I think should help us now. So there was no overriding of the QA. If you have to override the QA, it's literally like a whole different conversation, right? Because if you want to override QA that says this is not good enough, then it's a whole different conversation, and that's how the career has been, and that is what we are still seeing today, right? The whole hustle and battle with devs, with PMs, with the owners of the product, because for most people they just want to go live, right? And if you say that it's not working, they don't understand what you're talking about. Like, what they want to do is go live and all that. So that has always been the challenge, right? And trying to get your developers to understand why this cannot be this way, or business why this should be this way. And that has just been the overall challenge. I don't think it's any like it's every other challenge around technology and whatever, right? Adoption has been another challenge as well, which is getting people to even see the need why they need a QA. Because for us that run it as a business, right, at the moment, you find people that say, oh, my QA, my PM can test it, or my team, I review it internally and all the stuff like that. So that buy-in is still one of the challenges that we're still facing till date. Why do I really need a QA on my team when, we all know how to use products, right? So I can click and play, vlog, and all those stuff like that. And so there's that part. And then we still have the issues of, clear requirements. You start from A, by the time you're getting to the middle of the project, you're hearing B, and then all those things, keep making it challenging. But nonetheless, right, there've been successes, right? I would say that one of the success story for me is overall Assuredly. I think a brief run of Assuredly would be that it was basically from this scenario of why do I think I need a QA to running a first gig. I think Assuredly started as a side gig for me before it became a company as it were today. And how it started was more or less, I worked on a project with someone who recommended me, and then we tested the product, and then someone else was building something again, and it was like, oh, I think you would need the services of this person to work with you on this product, since it was, I think that was the beginning of when the whole startup game was starting up. People could not afford there's so many, like the entire full stack of a team, so you rather work with like side by side contractors to roll out your initiative and all that. So that's how it started. And I think after the third time I did it, my mentor I would call will say, oh, said, oh, you can make this into a business, you can turn it into a professional service. And we did that, right? We started about QA, but the problem was still not that. The problem was necessarily not QA, because as now being a QA, if you are not involved in that entire process, that entire thinking process from when it was conceptualized to when it is delivered, you will still struggle with the whole delivery at the end of the day. So what we did then was, okay, we came in, we realized that, okay, tax were not properly defined, or they were defined but they were not followed through. So we thought that, okay, I think maybe is project management or project management, or in the agile world we call it scrum master. Maybe it's scrum master that they need. We added scrum master project management to our services to say, okay, let's ensure that things are delivered on time. QAs gets get get their delivery get the tax, get assigned tax or timely, so that developers don't do it spend 10 days working and then want to expect that QA should spend just 1 hour testing. So we went into that. But going into that as well, we realized that okay, that's necessarily not necessarily the problem. It was a problem at the time. It solved a bit, but we now also realize that okay, some things were not properly defined, because you come to a an implementation and someone is saying, yeah, this screen is missing, or this component, this feature that was in your requirement was missing. So it just meant that or you were supposed to achieve a particular, you set a feature request and some things are missing to complete it, and then the design as well is also incomplete. And which is where, for us, we say quality starts from day one. It starts from that point of view where you say that this is the required, this is what I want to build up on, so this is what it is at the end of the day. So we now came into the point of, okay, let's do product management and let's basically institute it and call it product delivery. So actually today does more of product delivery, which encompasses your project management, your quality assurance, your product management as well, where we help you to define what you need to build in a way that when the designers pick it up, we are vetting from day one. Okay, the quality is in, like the requirements are checked out, because that automatically reduces the efforts of QA. Then reduces the efforts of QA, but you realize that by the time you do all these checks, the QA, the testing of the full completed product actually is almost seamless, because everything was already checked. But most of what happens at the end, when we wait for the end, is you realize that something is missing. Then someone people have to go back, rework, and all those stuff like that. So that has actually been like the overall ballpark of our success story and my success story as it were. So it started out as quality assurance. So this has helped us to do, or helped me to do basically, is to put quality at the center of everything. So regardless of the role, right, quality is required. Quality is the center of it all, because your output has to meet a certain standard, right? Industry-wide, global-wide, and for the products we are building today, right, they are digital products, which means that anybody around the world can access it. With that in mind, right, quality cannot be a secondary requirement. It's your first requirement. And in doing that, right, we drive our product managers, we drive our project managers, we drive even the clients, to come and think from the quality standpoint when they are defining what they want to do and how they want to do it. And then in that, also carrying the developers in that same light, ensuring that developers have as much information they need, so that by the time it comes to implementation, right, and we are not having this series of back and forth. It has not automatically, well, I say it has not been fully eliminated, but we're working towards seeing how we can work best and ease this process, because it's something that has been there since day one. So fighting with developer is a normal thing, and dragging with developer is a normal thing, and incomplete requirements is a normal thing. Like, but if as a QA you start from the very beginning and ensure that before it gets to you to confirm that this works, right, you are saying that it's this in place, is this in place, and this in place. Doing that would help you and also reduce the workload of the back and forth and the pressure that comes with it's in QA, and it has to come out now because everybody has done their part for almost 3 months, and then all of a sudden it's in QA, and the QA has to bring it out in like one day. It's not possible now, but we try our best. But in doing that, right, you now have to ensure that you carry your team along, and ensure that quality is not just your responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility, and you are holding people. So because at the quality assurance person, you are necessarily not the one writing the code, but you're holding the developer accountable for the quality of that code. You're not the one writing the requirement, but you're holding your product managers accountable for that requirement. And that is how it has been for me so far. And we're still pushing it. I'll see. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you so much for sharing your inspiring session with Unyime. I'm so inspired. I don't know about all of you, but me, I'm inspired. Looks like I'm going to switch career again to QA, because all the things I've heard, I would, I would really love to experience it. So I know a lot of us have questions to ask Unyime. So please drop them in the chat. During the panel session, she's going to try her best to attend to all of them, probably. So please kindly drop your. We might want to do first come first serve. So Sharp, sharp. Just drop your questions in the chat. Okay. So moving on to, anyone still hear me? Please, if you can hear me, kindly indicate maybe an emoji or something. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So moving on to our next agenda. Once again, follow us on our social media pages. You can check on the chat. You're going to find a link to quickly follow us on our social media pages, so you can always stay updated on our activities and for the next test drive as well. And then we also have a lot of freebies to give out, cash prizes. Don't forget. You don't know, probably we might want to pick people that are already following us. So try your best to follow us if you have not. Okay, our next agenda is going to be a panel session, and we have three experts with us. We have Mr. Demola Adeshino, the founding partner and CEO of Testing Academy; Unyime Tommy, co-founder and managing partner at Assuredly; Mobolaji A. Odumosu, CTO at Coronation Registrars. We've already met Ms. Unyime and Mobolaji, so I'm going to introduce Mr. Demola now. Okay, just a little bit about Mr. Demola Adeshino. Mr. Demola is a software testing leader, expert, coach, trainer, and consultant. He's the founding partner and CEO of Testing Academy, a UK-based leader in the software testing space, providing solutions and services in software testing, consulting, management, coaching, training, and recruitment. Since its inception in 2006, Testing Academy has been supporting organizations in building and delivering premium quality, dependable, secure, and fit for purpose applications and systems. Demola began his IT career as an infrastructure and network engineer in 1997 before transitioning to software testing in 2000, a domain in which he remains a key player today. He is currently focused on expanding Testing Academy's presence in Africa, starting with Nigeria. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Demola. Okay, do we have Mr. Demola with us? Okay, so I'm going to introduce the
Good afternoon,
moderator.
everyone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Demola. I'm going to introduce the moderator for this session. And Mr. Jaffa, please, you have the floor.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here again, and it's even more pleasure because this panel is powerful. I mean, having all these three people at a single time on a single panel is just phenomenal, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to be putting up my screen right away, and so we are going to get started. And there is assuring product excellence, the evolution of QA in digital product development. We have already met Uime and as well as Mobolaji, three amazing people. Before we go ahead, as we do every edition. So as we all know, Scandium is a no-code to create and maintain test cases, and it's entirely no-code, as has been rightly mentioned. So there are lots of things you could do with Scandium. This is just one of those.
Hi guys, welcome. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can connect Scandium into your existing workflow tools. You use Slack, you use Jira. If you want to have Scandium send you notifications whenever your suite runs, or you want to have a bug ticket created automatically into Jira or Trello or ClickUp, you can do that easily with Scandium. So first off, you should be logged into your Scandium account. Then you're going to come here to the settings. So you click on the settings menu, the top here. Then you click on notifications by the left bar. So you can see here that you can set up notifications for success or failure. So For success, you receive notifications whenever your test suites are successful. So you have all of these options that you can connect to. So you can receive email. You have the luxury of adding multiple emails. You can choose to receive your event at a webhook. So you can supply your own webhook URL and process the event as you deem fit. You can connect to Slack. You can connect to Jira, to Trello, to GitHub, and to ClickUp. So we keep expanding the options you can add to. So I'm going to be setting up Slack notification for success and failure. So to connect to Slack, you click on the connect button on the Slack option, then it will direct you to your Slack channel. So you can select from all of your workspace. So I'm going to select this from my workspace. So once you select the workspace, it provides you with your channels that are available. So you can search for the channel you want to connect to. So here I'll be selecting this particular channel. Then I'll click on the allow button. So I'm clicking on the allow button. You're taken back to Scandium. Now you have Slack set up. So you receive notifications at this channel. So I can do the same thing for the failure. So, so just in case I want to connect to a different Slack channel for failure notifications, you can do that. So in this case, I'll just be going on to select the same channel. So I'll pick a channel, then allow, then I get redirected back. Now I can save my notification. So I'll just be adding Slack alone for the purpose of this demo. Now, once your notification is saved, you can then go on to create a test suite. So of course, to create a test suite, you should already have existing test cases. So click on new suite, give your suite a name. So let's say demo test suite and give it a description also, demo video. Then you can add an execution environment on which you want your test to run. So you can say Linux environment. So web browser. So I want it to run on Chrome on the Linux operating system with this browser resolution. So I'm going to save this. So I want to have my test run in parallel. So now the test cases that I'm going to be adding, I'm going to be adding these three test cases to the suite. So whenever I run this suite, it will run these three test cases. So I'm going to save my suite just now. So this is my suite here containing three test cases. So run it whenever the suite runs on the schedule. I'll get my notification so we can quickly see the results. So I'll choose to run it remotely. So click on run. So now that our suite is done running, so we can check the results. So here we can easily come to suite results here. So see our suite run. So see that this run. So if I go over to Slack now, I should see a notification in our Slack channel that has been sent there. So I can see right here that I have a new notification of the suite that I ran. So this is the suite name. So I can see how long it took. I can see the status. So it failed. Then how many test cases in total? Three. One passed, two failed. So now I can check the result of the suite right from Slack. So I just click on the view test here. So I click on that link, it brings me to Scandium, and then it shows me the result of the suite. So now I can check the individual test cases for their results. So for this first one, I click on it and it loads up. So I can see the reason for failure, that element not found. So I can expand on it So with the screenshot comparison, I can see that because I'm using an incorrect credentials, so I won't be able to log in successfully like I did when I was recording. So with the screenshot comparison, I can know easily what has gone wrong. One. Also for the second failing test, so when I open it, I also want to check the reason for failure. So I can see the reason for failure also is that element was not found. So which element wasn't found? So I can also see that because I am using a problematic username, I was not able to do checkout successfully. So this helps me in debugging my application. So with this, you can add Scandium into Jira, into ClickUp, into Slack, or even receive email notifications. Once again, this is the notification sent to your Slack channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Bye.
Amazing. Thank you very much for going through that with us. So yeah, Scandium can do quite a lot of things, but then this is one of the things that makes it super easy for you to monitor, test across, several scenarios. You can imagine if you have 1,000 scenarios, you probably do not want to go and execute tests one after the other. You want to break this down and group them into suits, and then you can have them, scheduled to run hourly, weekly, daily, whatever fits your exact scenario. So let's go back to the event. Again, of course, you can visit our YouTube channel to see more about this. So moving on to the panel session. I have my panelists already ready to take this. So I'm going to start with Mr. Demola. Mr. Demola is the CEO at Testing Academy. So a quick one. QA is practiced today very differently across different organizations, depending on whether it's a startup or an enterprise. There's different approaches or different attitudes. We call it that to QA. Maybe some treat it as a nice to have, or maybe some is just well the product manager can test, or let the developer do the test, or let's different scenarios. So do you mind telling us in your experience some of the common misconceptions about quality assurance that persist today in startups and enterprises, and how can they be addressed?
Good afternoon, everyone. So the problems are similar across all sizes of industries, and I think that if we were paying attention to the global outage on Friday, that would have kind of resonated with a lot of us. So as soon as I heard that global outage, I looked at it and I realized it was not a cyber attack. It was just poor QA practices. That was the reason why we had that outage, and it affected God knows how many millions of computers and cost the world about $1 billion. What are the problems that we have? The idea that QA is a necessary evil rather than essential to project success, essential to product quality. That is the biggest thing here. So that's what I've seen. And also the lack of, and I say this a lot, the lack of awareness, the lack of education from a senior management and senior leadership perspective means that even with the best intentions, sometimes you may not get budgets, you may not get support, you may not get advocacy. So what's the point? So we've talked about the misconceptions, we've talked about the lack of education and lack of awareness of leadership teams in organizations and senior managers. And then a very interesting one is that QA is not autonomous. So QA reports to either the people running the project or the people building the rubbish apps. So how can we do our jobs as we should? So if you think about that conundrum, then you'd realize that's where half of our problem lies. And it didn't start today. Right from the days of development frameworks, development methodologies, which people keep calling testing methodologies. And I keep telling them that testing doesn't have a methodology. Testing is a process. But development frameworks, waterfall, RAD, agile, they have nothing to do with testing. This is developers trying to figure out how to build better applications, which is great. The only problem is they never invite us to the table. So I woke up one morning and somebody said to me, oh, we do CI/CD now. And so what we do is we just deploy applications. I said, yeah, but who asked us? Did anybody discuss this with us? Oh, no. When Agile Scrum first came out, you guys know this, there was no testing at all. And I said, oh, yeah, what about the testers? They said, oh, you are part of dev. Oh, really? Okay. This is the same dev that is building the applications that are buggy. So we're part of them. Right. Okay. I get that. Another thing you see is that because building applications and systems is deeply technical, which is fine, the business that are the customer, they are very quick to relegate their responsibilities of quality assurance to the project manager who is managing our same development colleagues who are building rubbish software. So they don't know whether their application has been tested properly. They don't have any direct line of sight to the test manager because the test manager reports to the project manager, who is that funny guy who is the one managing those other funny guys that are not building good software. So you see our problem, many. So automation is not going to solve any problem. AI is not going to solve any problem. BI is not going to solve any problem. CI is not going to solve the problem. Agile is not going to solve the problem. Somersaulting is not going to solve the problem. What is going to solve the problem is allowing QAs to do their job properly, giving them the support, giving them the budget, giving them the people, and recognizing that without them, you are never going to build good software. It's as simple as that.
Interesting. That was quite a strong take. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Demola. Let me extend this to. I like the fact that we have a balanced, panel here. Mobolaji here is a CTO, and Unyime is, manages project. And assuredly, she is with the teams through product delivery and not just testing anymore. So it's interesting to see what their take will also be on the same question. What are the common misconceptions and what can we do about them to make sure that we can build good software? Unyime, do you want to take this?
Okay, okay. So pretty much add to what Demola has said, because actually that's the honest truth, right? Is to say that from having to work with different people, right, I would say that quality starts from the top. It is what the owner of that product, holds dear to them that will cascade down through the entire team, be it QA, be it PM, be it developers, right? If you are going to take rubbish, that rubbish would come out across board. It doesn't matter whether you have a QA on your team, whether you have a PM on your team and all that stuff, right? So so the common challenges basically is that quality mindset across board, right? Because no matter how much, because I think one of the questions someone's asking is, no matter if a QA says this thing is not working, and then the owner of the product comes and says, no, let's take it like that. There's nothing anybody else can do. Do you get, because you own this thing and you are supposed to be the one that is, ensuring that you get what you want. And if your quality expectation is not even higher than the QA that you are hiring to test the product, then there is no way that the QA will even be empowered to start with to be able to give you a quality product. Like the team itself also will be empowered to give you a quality product. So one of the challenges we have is having that, that quality from the top cascade down all the way through the entire team. Because you would know, there are people today you send things to that that if I said this thing like this person is going to bounce him straight up. Like you already know, like you cannot even try them. But there are people that that, okay, they'll be fine with it. So people like quality, people sense these nuances. It not even be said outrightly, but people sense it. And once they sense it and know where you stand, It's like people are testing their waters. Okay, if even a developer and a QA, you would notice the relationship you have with them as well. If a developer sends you something and you bounce it back, right? The next time they will send it to you, right? They will try to do their own due diligence. But if they send it to you and you are, trying to cajole them to try to understand and all those stuff like that, the next time again they'll come back again with the same thing that they gave to you, right? And all that stuff. So it's more or less a how do we ensure that quality is a mandate from day one, from the top to the bottom, and then it's cascaded, and the entire team feels that what I'm doing here has to, meet a certain standard and nothing else will compromise for it.
Beautiful top to bottom approach. I love that. I mean, quality must come from the top down. Interesting. So let's hear from Mr. Mobolaji. Again, Mr. Mobolaji is a CTO and of course leads and manages the entire technical team for coronation registration and has had experiences in different teams. So I'd love to hear what you think about this.
Okay. Jafar. Okay, so like I said in the concluding part of my keynote speech, QA is not a nice to have, it's a must have, right? And so it's not even a question for debate. When I joined coordination registries, for example, the first thing I did was to review my org structure, because I found out that the QA guys were reporting into an engineering lead. But because from experience, I know the importance of that role. It's just like in organizations where you have some assurance functions report directly to the board. Risk management, for instance, internal audit, for instance, those are not functions you can hide or you can want to bury under somebody. And so is QA. Yeah, to technology. My QA guys report directly to me. Yeah, and that's the way I have empowered them. They are my gatekeepers. If my QA guy says, Bolaji, I'm not comfortable with this product, it does not go anywhere. It goes back to the development lab for them to deal with it. Yeah, until that guy says so, that it's a pass before my DevOps guy then begins to, deploy. So it's not a conversation to even have. And from experience, I've found out that it takes 3 times the effort to fix an issue that would have been identified earlier in the process. So I see somebody's question around how QA can have a voice, in an organization. And my direct answer to that is nobody's going to give you that voice. You've got to take charge of your role. Yeah, I remember when I was the QA lead so I was at Accenture at the time, and we were implementing an SAP system for NMPC 2005, and I was the QA lead. Nobody, and I was a very junior, I was an analyst in Accenture at the time. Nobody empowered me for my role. I just had an understanding of my role, and I knew how critical it was for anyone to blame me if anything went wrong. So I embedded myself into the development process, made sure my voice was going to be heard, made sure I documented what I believed was the right thing to do. And I pushed it through, to my line managers to say, hey guys, I will not be held responsible if we do not do things the proper way. Yeah. And so they had no choice than to say, you know what, let's give Bolaji this. And for every time, there was a change, there was a build, I must, assure it before it goes. So for me, it's not even a question to, it's not a debate to have. QA is so critical to, a development process. And I think organizations are beginning to understand. As CTO, I would never compromise them. I'd rather go and get additional budget, yeah, for my QA guys than say, oh, I want to compromise on quality. So that would be my take on that. Thanks.
Interesting. I mean, it's nice to hear the take from Bolaji and Unyime, as technology leaders and project delivery leaders. I was going to say perhaps maybe we should always have people who have experienced QA to become the technology leaders and the project delivery leaders. Maybe that would help them see things, because now they obviously can see things from the perspective of somebody who has gone through QA and knows the importance. But then don't quote me. I didn't say that. So that CTOs do not come from my head. But the angle that Bolaji went to, that you can also try to take charge, even if you are the junior most in that team. You step it down. I mean, what can you do? But at least everybody would know that this guy is try. He talk. So when 8 million PCs globally went down, nobody's gonna come to your desk and say, why did he not check that update before they went through for it? Okay, so let me move on. Mr. Bolaji, you mentioned budget, but I'm still gonna come down. I'm gonna come for you. So just hold on a little bit. But before going into budget, I think one of the issues is, how do we even estimate the real business impact of QA? Yes, we can arguably say, yes, there's a lot of impact. If things go down, it's going to cost us money. I think if we look at the angle of business managers, probably think that, I mean, how much in naira and kobo, let me say in dollars and pounds, is this costing me really? Why should I devote a budget of something thousands of dollars, to help your QA do it better and stuff, when I can just leave it and you go do it. So the question is, how can we define or estimate the real business impact in actual numbers of QA, such that, I mean, it helps us. So you could talk about metrics or KPIs, or how do we measure this and put it to numbers? So who wants to go first? This is open.
Okay, that's fine. And I think there are methodologies around the world that help us compute this. For me, off the top of my head right now is the amount of rework. So the man hours that the development team would have to rebuild that product, because again, it wasn't gotten right the first time. And so all of that man hours that everybody would have to build, whether front end, back end, UI UX guy and all of that. And the time to market. So how much have we lost if we have, now that we have delayed our go to market? Yeah. So if we had estimated that within this period of time, this product was supposed to make us X amount of money, and now we have delayed by another maybe 3 months or 6 months. Yeah. So that loss to the organization should also be built in. Yeah. Into um, the fact that you didn't build in quality from the beginning. So yeah, it's usually a very rough estimate, but I know that again, my consulting background, I know we used to be exposed to a lot of methodologies in those days, that helps you now have a proper approach, to computing these things. But yes, it does exist, and usually very huge impact, financial impact, when you don't do things properly the first time. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Mr. Demola, do you want to also hop in on this?
Yeah, I'd add to Bolaji's points. So
The man hours and time to market. Yeah.
yeah. So and Bolaji has spoken about the costs of the fix. Okay, but I want to talk about actually what happens when that uh, application or system actually goes live with those defects. So the effects of that on the organization, okay, is enough. And every organization that is worth its salt has a risk assessment methodology in-house that they use for other things as well. And risk assessment is a standard discipline. So if you have a risk assessment matrix that tells you when to do things in other parts of your organization, you can apply the same principle to the cost of building bad software. So it's a cost of reputation, your share prices going down, your customers losing, you losing customers, you loss of revenue. There are so many things that we can use to compute how much a loss it will be to the organization. It is going to be, it is peculiar to each individual organization. So if I'm talking to people who have, an annual turnover of $1 million and have 600,000 customers, for example, and they're doing online retail, then the way that we're going to talk about the impact or the cost of bad software to them is going to be different from how we're going to do it to the civil service or to the Ministry of Works, if you see what I mean. But every single organization, okay, there is a cost to them not, testing their software properly. That is not rocket science. I think the more the problem is around the fact that we don't have the advocacy and the education at senior level. Before you're going to get budget from me, I need to, what you're saying to me needs to be important. It needs to make sense. If it doesn't make sense to me, it's not going to get to the top of my budget list. And this is why Bolaji has done an amazing thing. And I've got to say that in all my years, I have probably only heard that happen 3 times, where actually the CTO says quality reports directly to me. Because if the CTO has a dashboard with all their application performances every Friday, imagine what that says from a culture perspective. So yeah, I just thought I should call Bolaji out there and say thank you for that amazing thing that you've done. I don't think there's any other way to do it.
Amazing. Yeah, it's going to be very nice when the CTO can directly see this at the dashboard. And see that, this is what's happening, this is status on all of our products, this is what's passing, this is what's failing. Beautiful. And I think my engineering team pushed out something like this very recently, a Scandium, where you can see the reports, see it in graphs, and it's very clear. You don't have to go through test case by test case, because of course I'm sure Bolaji doesn't have the time to start digging through each test and see. So, but then that kind of dashboard really makes sense. So let me go to Unyime. I mean, you're managing projects right now for a couple of organizations, and you have been actively involved in QAing for a couple of organizations. So what do you think? How do you measure the impact, the real business impact in numbers?
I think for me today, what I would always say is that it's because it is software. Because the things we get away with software, you cannot get away with it on hardware devices. You cannot have shipped what do I call it? Let's say as simple as a bottle, a plastic bottle is, right? There's a bottle and then there's a cover. And most often than not, those 2 things are not produced at the same spot. Someone has a specification that this is how the bottle would look. This is how the cover would be. And that person has a specification for this is the cover of the bottle and everything. So imagine you producing the bottle, right? And then bringing the covers, and the covers don't fit. Because that is a total overhaul on that production line, right? And from a hardware standpoint, that's instantly money is already lost. Like these raw materials have been wasted, time has been spent and everything, right? And the cost of the work for them is it's very, very enormous. Imagine they don't ship it, right? And then they have to now recall all the logistics and all those stuff like that. And that is how I more or less try to drive, the sense towards software as well, right? You need to think about it in that light, right? Why do you want to go back and redo it again? The cost of redoing that work is actually more expensive than doing it right the very first time, right? And that is what we also try to, to push the people to understand. Yes, because of the whole CI/CD thing, it seems like it's just very easy to just, something is broken in production, somebody quickly does a hot fix, click some comments. But that time that is actually being spent is actually money, because if it was done right the first time, that person should have been doing something else right than having to, quickly jump in. And then there's a part of, the entire business panic, oh, this is not working, and everybody's jumping up and down. So by the time, it seems very subjective, as it were, but it's actually quantifiable. I keep saying, for me, it's more like, what is your business worth to you? What your business is worth to you automatically translates to what quality is worth to you. So we all know what's happened last week Friday, where everyone, flights were delayed and all those stuff like that. Now that is basically what it would cost you. So for airlines, right, they had to start rebooking, rescheduling and all those stuff like that. The crews were already paid regardless, right? And it would be paid for the extra time they would have to, do to use to account for all the delays or all the issues that happen. I think it was 15 minutes issue literally cost the entire world almost 2 days, backlog of activities. So is what your business is what you, that to me, that is what is equal to what quality is actually what to you. So if your business is what to you 100K, you give it 100K. If it's what to you $1 million, you give it $1 million.
Beautiful. I mean, that's quite a peculiar thing. If you're really serious about this business, then you are better taking care of quality. Awesome one. This discussion is getting so interesting. I feel we're going to do 4 hours here already. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. Before I come back, we're going to talk about influencing and budgeting and all of that a little bit more. But before that, let's take some questions for the audience. I already see some people doing like, let them answer my question, Abby. So sorry. Somebody raised their hands. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to take that live. Please drop your questions. We'll have Ijoma, take notes, and then we would ask, at intervals. So Ijoma, please, let's have 1 or 2 questions from the audience.
Okay. Hello everyone. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Joma.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start with a question from Elijah. He said, "How can a QA engineer push for a timely product release in the face of reluctance on the part of the developers to address bugs?" Did you get that? Hello.
Yeah. Do you want to address this to anybody specifically, or do you just want to open it up?
Yes, I
Anyone
want
can.
to open it up. Yes.
Good. Do you mind repeating the question? So we
Okay.
Demola,
Okay. Elijah is asking how a QA engineer can push for a timely product release when they are facing reluctance from developers to address bug issues.
Okay, I can take that. So it's an interesting question. I would say, why are you pushing? So you must have a project structure. So your developers must report to somebody, and you must have a testing process here. So you've raised defects, you've assigned them to your developers. If they're not fixing them on time or anything, then that gets escalated to their own lead. If they don't have a lead, they'll have a project manager. If they don't have a project manager, there'll be a scrum master. So that actual battle is not yours to fight, if you see what I mean. So you obviously will have done your own bits. So you've raised the defect, you've sent some reminders. If there is an agreement of a defect management process and SLAs for that, so if this is if it's a high severity defect, and you have agreed that that will be fixed within 24 hours, and 1 week later it's not fixed, then that's an escalation issue. You understand? That is not a battle that you should be fighting, because you're not going to get anywhere with it. And that's my take on that.
thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Okay. Another question we have here is directed to Unyime. So David is asking that he recently started his QA journey, and he wants to know how he can fast track his QA journey. Did you get
Okay.
that?
How do you? Yeah, I did get that. Okay. Okay.
Somebody
How
was
to
also
fast
just
track?
to add,
Well,
just to add, somebody was also asking, you can just add it to that, how they can access internship opportunities and all of that.
Oh
We'll
yes,
take that.
that's it.
okay. Okay. I think for that, more or less, is if you're starting out, internship opportunities is to look for it, right? Look for it. One way or the other, you would have people around you who people are building stuff every day, right? You could start out from volunteering to these things, like to people that are testing out, because you need that experience to more or less, expand your understanding of whatever you are studying or learning and all that stuff. So it's to, seek out for opportunities, look for opportunities. Yeah, I know economy is hard, so sometimes doing free work, you maybe, but sometimes free work also helps, right? Because it helps you, it gives you free room to learn, make early mistakes that you obviously when you're paid for, you cannot afford to do so, right? So search out for or look out for free opportunities, join communities that are involved in test. I think the testers communities there are other engineering communities. I think there are even other platforms online that you could actually just join and be a bug hunter and all that. But those are ways that you can quickly learn, because with QA is more or less learning on the job, right? Yes, they are better, they are, like, call it, their programs and their articles and the likes, but at the long run, it's actually learning on the job, because every product, as it were, is peculiar to the environment that you're meeting it in, right? So you are learning on the job, but the basics and the fundamentals are things that you need to pick up as early as possible, because that is what would set tone for whatever eventual product you end up working on. So finding opportunities out there, that you can leverage on. If you even have someone, someone that I know, someone that said, "Oh, my brother was working on this product, and I decided to join him alongside." So on the side, he was leveraging off his brother to learn how to do this, to test and all that. Because the good thing about QA is that, unlike devs that you have to checking your code and all those stuff like that, with QA you can literally pick up any random product and just start browsing through it and trying to figure out, can I spot what is wrong here, can I apply one of this skill or this process into it and see what would happen and all those stuff like that. So QA is much the like a cost of entry is actually very low, but the sustainability is what is very high, because the more you now spend in years in QA, your experience now has to speak up for you. Like, there's some things that would no longer be that nobody would accommodate, because you're the quality advocate. So why would you yourself make mistakes? But you have to start somewhere, and starting somewhere means that you have to just look for where the opportunities are, whether it's free, whether it's paid, whether it's in learning, and you would be able to start early and then build it up from there.
Thank you so much for that, Unyime. David, I hope
Great.
that answers your question.
Sorry, Agent. I might have to come in. We'll come back to take some more audience questions. I think have quite a lot of things that I really want to ask. I guess the panelists here. So let's come back to Mr. Demola was saying something around advocacy and education. Especially for senior level, managers or people responsible for technology decisions or project related decisions. This is quite key because I guess you were talking about budgets and giving more power or enabling environment. So let's talk about that a little bit. What strategies do you see that have been proven successful in terms of gaining stakeholder acceptance? To get more power, more budget, direct access to do things the way they should be done in different organizations. Um, let me start this let's start with Mr. Demola again.
Good question. Coaching is very, very, very key. Because basically what you need to do is you need to get your senior leadership tech team, you need to get them to actually, you almost need to make them testers. You understand? Because if they understand the software testing process, because that's important. So one is they need to understand what software testing is and how important it is. But that's easy. We can do that in 10 minutes. But they also need to understand there's a process, so that they understand that in the testing life cycle, 75% to 70% of the money is spent in the prep, and 25 of it or 20 of it in the execution, and 5 in the closure. So if they understand that, you can see what the distribution of the of monies is on a project from a software testing perspective. A lot of people don't understand that. So another thing that they need to understand is when they need to have the testing presence on the project. So that's why I've said coaching, because what coaching will do is coaching will take them through a journey of understanding of what software testing is and how it needs to be done. Every organization should have a testing policy, and the strategies for individual projects should align with the testing policy. And the testing policy tells everybody across the whole organization this is how we test. Do you understand? So there are so many things. And if there is no dialogue with senior leadership, if there's no dialogue with C levels, if there's no dialogue with senior managers, then this whole thing, this whole message, this whole thing that we all know is not going to get across to them. When it gets across to them, then there is an understanding, and that will inform budget.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that. I think maybe we would also try to do a more elaborate session, maybe physical session, where we can have senior leadership, the CTOs and the CIOs together. I'm sure Balaji, Demola, would love to be a part of this. We'll look at doing something like that. So let me go to Balaji. But in addition to answering this question of what strategies would work to gain some more power or more budget and stuff, we also want to add that to talking a little bit about the rise of test automation tools and AIs, that we now have no-code tools like Scandium, for example, or tools integrated into your CI/CD, using AI to make testing or quality assurance better. What do you see as I'm sort of giving you some examples of what you can do with AI
Hello, Jafar. I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you were
Apologies.
breaking up for most part of your question.
Okay, so I was adding another. Can you hear me now? Is it clear now?
Yeah, it's clear now. It's clear
Okay,
now.
beautiful. So in addition to answering the question about what can be done to stakeholder acceptance, improve and to talking about the advent of test automation and AI, power tool do we have in that space now for QA professionals or for QA practice generally?
Okay, I'm just trying to guess your question. Again, you were breaking up at some point, but I think I get a sense of what you're asking. So for us, AI is evolving. Still a new thing in most organizations. For us, it's part of our digital strategy, for instance, for this year. And what we're currently doing is to engage stakeholders from the very top, also engage vendors to see what solutions they have that addresses our specific business requirements. So pretty new, pretty so we're not making before we make the right investment. Yeah, we want to be sure that we understand what this whole AI buzz is about and how it's going to fit into our technology landscape. So right now, at least for the organization where I work for, is still at its early stages.
For QA professionals, we now have tools that are AI powered for quality assurance that can help with automating your tests, no code tools, and some AI being used to improve how that is done. So, what are the opportunities and challenges you see in that for organizations who are trying to improve their QA processes and for QA professionals themselves?
Well, it's technology, and I think we should all embrace it. What I always say is, well, the fear for most people is AI is going to come and take their jobs. Yeah, but I see the flip side of it. AI is also going to make you more effective and more efficient as a professional. Yeah, so and I think that's what you should look at. And also see, I personally don't think AI is going to completely eliminate human beings. I think there are still some things that human beings will still be relevant for. Yeah, but I see the positive side of AI to say it's going to come and make me a better, a more effective, executive. And that's in the light of that is, what I'm preaching today, as an AI evangelist in my own organization. So, like I said, we're talking to different vendors today. We were supposed to have some workshop last week, yeah, where the vendor had approached me to say they were coming to show us how AI can apply in across different parts of our business, and I was really looking forward to that. So for QA, I would advise any QA professional, to want to have an open mind and see what these AI testing tools even provide. Yeah, and see how you can be more relevant in that whole process. Yeah, that's what I said.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Adopt, embrace, and make that. I mean, make this as a tool that makes you better, not necessarily a competition. By the way, if you didn't know, for anybody that didn't know before, Scandium is an AI-powered no code test automation tool that does an amazing job, in helping you do everything around test automation. Thank you very much, Bolaji, for that insight. I still want to, before I allow you to go, I know you're in a hurry, you have to do something. Budget, budgeting, attracting more budget, attracting more, like what you have done in your organization, where you now have QA report directly to you. What strategies, what can people do to make this happen? Get more budget, get more access to make things happen.
Okay. So more budget. I think it was Unyime that said something that struck me. Yeah. So depending on how much you value your organization, that's also the price that you should pay for a QA practice, right? I think that's what I caught from her response to one of the questions. And so what in our own case, we have gotten our fingers burnt before. Yeah, in coronation. We've had to call back products. We've had to do a lot of rework. We've lost money in the process. And all of this were because of the fact that we were not doing things right. Yeah. And so when I came in and I put in, the structures and all that, I think for me, the organization, because of the experiences the organization has had, it's easier now for me to make a case to say, I need, okay, I had, so we have three verticals of products, yeah, and we only just had one QA guy testing all this, and in each vertical there are like two different products. So let's say you had six products and just only one QA guy testing all of this. Completely inefficient for me, overwhelming for the QA guy. And so what I said, I made a case to get two more QA guys join us. I think that was the time I was also speaking to Scandium to see how, we can then have an automated tool that could help us. I know we're still having that conversation. Anyways, to again make that QA process more effective and all of that. So I don't think I'm in a position where I'm finding it difficult to make a case, for QA. It's again about how you pitch these things and make the organization see the downside, especially when it's going to hit their financial bottom line of not doing things right. Yeah. So budgeting for me has never been easier than what it is now, because the organization has seen, and right now, because of how we are now building in quality, into the deployment of our products, people now see that, customers trust our products more. There's repeats, there's loyalty to our products, and that's because we had built in quality from the beginning. So nobody's even having that conversation to me that, the cost of hiring an additional QA resource or the cost of buying a software tool out there is expensive, because again, you should look at the cost of not having those things. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Hello, is there a freeze from your end again, Jafar?
Yeah, I think there might be. We actually can't hear him. I'm not sure that he's actually speaking.
Hi, Joma, we are speaking. We cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Welcome back. We cannot hear you.
All right, okay. Thank you so much for that. Seems my network is breaking.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, okay, awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to take on from where Jaffa stopped. Okay, is Mr. Mobolaji still with us? We have one last question from the audience that I would quickly want you to respond to before you go, please.
All right, that's fine, Ijoma. Even though I'm rushing for another engagement, but it's fine. I'm happy to take that quickly.
All right, thank you so much. So, Mike was asking, amid your vast and impressive career experience, you mentioned you found your role in project slash program management particularly interesting. What sets it aside from process transformation, IT governance, amongst others you've been involved in?
Very interesting question. Okay, so for me, over the last 24 years, yeah, I've developed competencies in different areas. And I think at some point I was able to then identify what came naturally to me. I'm a I'm a driver. Yeah. I don't know what temperament that is. I think is that a choleric? So I love to I live and breathe project management. I've done it for more than half of my years of experience, and I think that's what I enjoy doing. Even as a CTO, I don't have a PMO office, as it were. I manage my projects myself. Yeah, so I just enjoy it. What makes project management different from process transformation and IT governance, which are things I've done in my career? I think they have some similarities. Similarities in the sense that you've got to deal with people and there's a specific outcome. Yeah, that each of those things. So a project has a specific outcome. So is a process transformation work. So is an IT control work or IT governance work. It also, all of those three also deal with people. Yeah, but I think what project management gives you is that big picture. Yeah. You get to juggle a number of balls at the same time. So you're dealing with people, you're dealing with time, you're dealing with risk, you're communicating your stakeholders, a lot of things. If you have external vendors, you're dealing with procurement, a lot that has to do. And I think for me, that's what, just keeps me going. I like the fact that I have that big picture of a strategic objective or of a project intent, and that I'm able to take things from point A to point B, which a process transformation work may not give me, because it might just be in a project setting. That might just be a work stream, as it were. So for me, it's just something that I've come to like and enjoy in my career, and that's been it so far.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. As Mike, I hope that answers your question. So if you're someone that likes having a lot of things going on, maybe you should check that out as well. All right, okay. Just so I see your back. Do you have anything to add before we close?
Interesting. No, I think would allow Bolaji to go. He has something pressing to attend to. But that's been a very awesome engagement. I'm sure we want to take this further some other time. Taking a lot of lessons from this. As for the person that was asking if Scandium or AI tools would take his job as a QA engineer, I think Bolaji just mentioned already that don't worry, it's not going to take a job. All you need to do is know more before you learn the tool. I think for all of the places that we have Scandium integrated, they work with QA engineers. They are the people that make the tool work, as expected. And we actually do partnerships with a lot of QA outsourcing organizations to even make this happen. So rest assured, nothing is taking your job, and I think Mr. Bolaji has also assured you that. So you can be fine. Thank you very much once again for attending this. Thank you
Thanks,
very
thanks,
much.
guys. Thanks, guys. All the best in the years ahead. I was really, really, this was good for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right.
thank you. A round of applause, please. Even though it's virtual, you can use the emojis.
Take care.
So thank you, thank you. So we're going to have to close the panel session. We're going to have Demola and Unyime as well to take the question on opportunities with test automation and AI tools, opportunities and challenges, and then we're going to close the panel session there and move into the trivias and games. So yeah, Mr. Demola, let's hear from you, and then we'll go to you.
Okay. So what's the question? Sorry.
Opportunities and challenges with test automation and AI powered tools.
Okay. So my take on it is always different. So we're always going to use tools. We're always going to need tools. We should always embrace tools. But then we should remember they are tools. So if you check the definition of tools, somewhere there, it says that there needs to be somebody behind it that is actually either powering the tool, instructing the tool, or making the tool work. Our expectation and our drive should be that the tools and the people should work in tandem. So if we do not have a proper oversight or a proper view, in-depth view of the testing process, then the challenge that we're going to have with the tools is somebody is going to, or people are going to erroneously believe that they should replace the thinking. So originally we are called test analysts. This QA thing is an American thing. We're not QAs, actually, we're test analysts because we do analysis first before we do our execution. So if it is done properly, we should be able to work together and it should be to our advantage. If it's not done properly, like we see today, where somebody actually posed that question, where people see automation and AI as a golden, as a silver, no, well, as a miracle, then we're going to have a problem, because the idea in the heads of the people with the money is we've got 6 QAs, let's cut them down to 1 and replace them with a 2. But it's not as simple as that. So my take here is that, again, it's always down to education. If you know your software testing process properly, especially project managers, then we wouldn't even have the issue, because they would recognize the place of the tool within the whole basket and the place of the human within the basket. It is the human that is going to use the tool, not the other way around. You understand? One of the things that another thing that I'm seeing is around AI. AI worries me from a QA perspective for 2 reasons. Number one, people are forgetting that AI is data. So AI is it's pulling data. You ask it a question, it gives you data, and it's pulling that from available data that is there, put there by everybody and anything and anybody. So AI is not going to write your test for you. It can help, but you should not rely on AI 100% for your tests. Now, I tell you where AI can be a miracle. AI can be a miracle if it is imbibed in the requirement gathering or requirement elicitation process, and also how we write our functional specification and non-functional specification. If we can do that, then AI will become magic for us, because then we have defined the parameters within which tests should be written, by ensuring that it is actually involved in the requirements gathering process or requirement elicitation process, and also the functional specification, non-functional specification. So those will be the parameters. So again, humans are there. It's just the whole seeing it as a silver bullet. I think that is the biggest challenge we're going to have with it.
Great, great. Thank you very much. I guess I have to bring the panel to a close with Unyime also answering what she sees as opportunities and challenges with the advent of AI-powered test automation tools. And then we can end it. I'm sure we want to continue this for as long as possible. I mean, if you ask me, but then we'll have to put a pause to it. I'm sure people are waiting to go on the trivia, the games. So, Unyime, let's have you.
Okay, I think I'll just basically what Demola said, right? What is it? So in my opinion as well, the same is an enabler, not the finite solution. It's just an enabler. So it enables you to do something efficiently, optimally, and well. And that is what any tool is, right? Which is even so because the struggle has always been there with tools. Today, I think if QAs are here, maybe there are no PMs here, but you still struggle with developers from moving tags from the to-do column to the in QA column. It's a tool, right? If the attitude and the behavior is not there, for them to recognize, okay, this is what this is supposed to do for us, help us to, streamline our work and make our work better, it would not necessarily enable that process of, tax transitioning or workflow management to be better because the people involved are not, using it in the manner it should be used. And also that is the same thing that, would happen with AI as well. It is there, it's supposed to enable us to be more efficient, to work optimally, to be more productive. And what this means is that it's enabling you, and you have to, be the one who more or less drive it. So, Demola has mentioned, you are the one providing the data. You cannot just say, write me test script for login without context. You have to give it what the product is doing, what the product is expected to, do, how it looks like, and everything. You have to feed it the information you need, and more or less for it to be able to generate what you think, what it would more or less be the response to what you are asking for. And you as an individual need to also be, what I call it, savvy enough, more educated enough to understand whether the responses they are being given is right or wrong. Because again, it is GIGO. You give it something, it brings out something, but you need to know, and you cannot more or less downplay yourself in the whole ecosystem of AI. You more or less have to, keep building yourself more, in fact, more, what I call it, you need to, double up the efforts in learning and improving yourself, because that is the only way you would now be able to use these tools optimally, right? And you'll not be found, just copying and pasting what AI is saying, and it could actually be wrong. And because there've been several times it has been wrong, right? So you actually now, so what it has more or less brought to us now is that we need to improve, we need to get better, we need to think more deeper than what these things are doing, so that we're able to prompt it properly to give us what we want, and also be able to vet, because on give or take, someone is also testing this AI, right? And the QA person behind the scene that's testing this AI, and you're also going to be doing the same thing. When they give you a response, you're also going to be QAing it as well. So the tools are supposed to enable us, and for us to be for us to be able to use this, in an optimal way, we also need to improve ourselves with our knowledge base to understand how to better use this tool to help us to be more productive in how we work. So it's not to keep any of us away, it's just going to make us better. So I think someone has said that it's those who can efficiently use it, that would more or less survive the test of this era, as it were.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you for that. Just to do something quick before I give it back to Ichoma. Yes, just like she rightly said, it is still up to you. You still need to know what it takes. You need to understand, what you're trying to assure, understand your product, what are you trying to check out for, and all of that to be effective with the tool. So yeah, the tool is yours to make use of. Basically, it just makes things easy. For example, you hop on a tool like Scandium, instead of you having to write test script and write scalable code all of the time. You just simply click record, and Scandium does writing the code for you, and then you can run this. So, but it's still up to you to design how you want, this particular scenario to be, and all of that. So thank you very much to my amazing guest speakers. It's been very enjoyable having this session with you. Thank you so much for your time. And I do hope we can do this again sometime soon. Thank you very much. I'll hand off to Ijoma now. Bye.
Thank you so much for that, Jeffa. Okay, this is the fun part because I've also been waiting for this part. So I'm going to resume my sharing. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen. Okay, so we've been shouting since. There are cash prizes to be won, freebies, subscriptions. So it's time for games. But unfortunately, I cannot participate, so I feel so sad. So please, if you want to join the game session, scan the code or use the bit.ly link join. So more people to join in, then we can start. Please let me know. I'll wait for you. Yeah, I'll be participating. I want a lot of people on my behalf. But please let me enjoy it. So if you've joined, you can use a thumbs up or an emoji, anything, just to indicate that you've joined. And if you're struggling, please let us know in the chat as well. Okay, Pascal is in. Is anyone struggling to join? Let me even see if I can join. Okay, someone is asking what's the code to join. Okay, let me even reload because my own is not. Okay.
Okay, a link has been dropped in the chat box now. If you were having issues, check out that link, menti.com/al.
Is anyone in? Okay, presentation is in progress. Okay, let me join.
So while we're
Okay.
trying to join, the very first 10 people that attended this session would be getting free merch. Um, I don't know the names off my head, but I know we have the names of people. Probably going to announce that. Of course, you should be on our Slack channel so that we'll be able to communicate. Receiving this. So we'll do the session. So, but then yes, the very first 10 people already automatically have free match. Who they are exactly, you get to know. So has everybody been able to join now?
We have 12, 11 players in, so we need more people. So maybe just 1 more minute. Okay, it says it's requesting for a code. I'm not seeing that here. Okay, we have 17 players already. Please use the link on the chat to join. Is there anyone still struggling to join? Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, we have 21 players. 22. Okay, I think we can start now. Okay, 26 players already. Because of time, please let's go ahead and start. Have 30 players. Awesome. So it's not just about getting the questions right or the answers right. You need to be as fast as possible as well. So while you're trying to pick quickly, please. Ensuring the software meets specified requirements. Let's see who's leading. St. Elmo is leading, followed by Beyonce. That's nice. What does CI/CD stand for? Clock is ticking. Ooh, Beyonce is back at the top. St. Elmo, no grill. Which of the following is an example of a queue activity?
These questions are so easy, John. I think I should have participated. Who knows? Maybe I would have gone home with the cash prize. Beyonce, Elmo, Al Kabir. Hey. Okay, let me come and insert. Where are the developer?
Oh, will not give you.
Bring my name on top of Beyonce. By the way, as I usually
Beyonce is still leading. Since my network is bad. The screen is frozen. Is it from my end? Okay. Which phase in the software development life cycle is typically responsible? Oh, they've already answered this one. Oh. What is the significance of shift left testing in QA? Let's see who got this one right. Ah. St. Elmo is back at the top. Ah. Wait, oh. Okay. Sorry. In what decade did automated testing tools start becoming more prevalent in the software industry? 3, 2, 1. 1990. V is leading. Which programming language was the first to include built-in support for unit testing? I don't know the answer. Maybe I would have given someone else. Anyway, small talk. I have never heard about that before. Ooh, we're almost at the end of our their games. So, if you still want to lead, you still have three more questions. Which of the following is considered a pioneer of the software quality assurance field? Grace Hopper. A Patience is leading. Ah, we did not come here to play. Oh. What is the primary focus of black box testing? 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's see. It's gonna be a okay, okay, okay. Let's see who will lead. Hey, TV is back at the top. Saint Elmo, how far now? Who is known for the quotation is not about finding God. Hey, if you fail this one, ah, oh,
It's not over until it is over. You can do it. You can do it.
hey,
Interesting.
ah,
Patient.
patience.
It's good to be patient too. Okay. No wahala. Let's see. People, my people at the back. It's not over until it's over. You can overtake patience with patience.
Hmm. Aspire to my boy. It's over.
Yeah, now to refire and be hired.
Acha. Ah, Uma, where did you come from? Ah,
I
ah,
don't understand from the back. You see, when I was giving my aspire to Pascal, she listened very well, carefully, and then that's how she came to the top. You that did not believe in my this thing, and you did not listen. Talk. See where you are.
how? Hey, Uma, please,
Interesting.
mute your
Congratulations.
mic. Oh, who is Uma?
Oma is not a she, Oma is a he. And yes,
Oh,
yes, aspire to Maguire.
ah,
You have perspired, and now
congratulations.
you can refire, and you are hired.
Thank you.
Ah,
Thank you very much.
congratulations, Uma.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Okay, patience. We have patience. We have TV, Beyonce. Patience. Who is patience? Patience. We want to clap for you. Show yourself.
Okay, I'm not patient.
Please, what are you?
I'm a QA. I'm a software QA. Good
Okay,
afternoon.
okay. Good afternoon. Congratulations. I hope you're very
Yeah.
happy.
Yes, I am.
Congratulations. Okay, we have TV. Who is TV, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm TV.
Oh, congratulations, TV. So, okay, we have cash prizes for our top three. Um, Okay, so you know how it goes. You have to join our Slack channel so that we can communicate with you on what you've won. Definitely, you've won something huge, and we are going to give you something. So, thank you so much, everyone, for participating. I had so much fun seeing the board move up and down. Matt took us by surprise. I never expected it. So, thank you so much, everyone, for participating. We have freebies as well for the first 10 people that join this event and stay till the end. Can anyone still hear me? Looks like, okay, awesome. Thank you, thank you. So I'm going to bring up the list of our.
Can everybody hear me? Okay, it seems each of them might be having some issues with this thing. I hope we can hear me. So to quickly take it, like I mentioned, that there's going to be some prizes, some shirts. Okay. We're going to sort this out on Slack. If you're already part of the winners of the quiz, you'll be able to get your prizes. You can share with Ibrahim. Okay, I can see 14th position, 12th position, 100th position. Okay. We'll see what to do about the price for the 100th position. I can't promise anything yet, but we'll see what happens. But make sure you're on the Slack so that you will not. But of course, I'm sure the first to fifth position are going to get something cash prizes for the first to third. Before we used to do just one person. For this special anniversary edition, is 3 prizes, cash prizes. Then, of course, if you are amongst the first 10, you see this list on Slack, you automatically would get a shirt. You also communicate to you about how to get that also on Slack. And then the first five winners of the quiz are also going to all get shirts. Now, to get some more people, is there anybody that has been with us since day one? You have attended test drive since last year? Anyone here? I want to give out more shirts. Emmanuel, a round of applause for 100 position. You can raise your hands and talk, please. If okay, do you want me to ask you a question? I see Alabi raising his hand. That's interesting. Oluwatoyin Fast Shaking says that he wants a shirt. Okay, make sure you're on Slack. You also get a shirt. Alabi is the only one, no contest. So we're just going to give him. We're going to just give him that. So Alabi is just going to get a shirt. Thank you for being with us since last year. Anybody has attended more than 5 test drive sessions? Anyone here? Okay, so Dick has attended more. Your reward is in heaven. Anybody else? Nothing for 8th position. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's do this. First 10 people to to join the session. They're going to get first five. I would see if we can extend to first 10. I don't want to promise right now, but then duly noted for consideration. The Alabi and who else again notified that they have. You are the first to join the meeting. Don't worry, there's evidence. Google Meet will tell us that one. Don't worry, you will see the names. The question I'm asking is is people who have attended test drive since last year, July. We started July last year, or you have attended more than 5 test drive sessions. Esther, which one are you talking about? Esther has been since last year. Double shares. You are first to come. You have been since last year. In fact, you don't get shared like that. Automatic. Ibrahim is taking notes. Who again? Anybody else other than Esther and Alabi? You have attended more than 5 test drive sessions. Okay, Manuel Olele since last year. Have you attended more than 5? No problem. Emmanuel, you are covered. We don't have a lot of context. If we had a lot of context, then would have gone to the books and start verifying or asking questions. But since we don't have a lot of people and we have a very truthful audience, so those people that I mentioned, they all have their shirts already. Again, it's not ended. Anyways, it's not ended. There's still lots of opportunities. That's what happens every month. Next month, we'll be having another amazing session with somebody, Vice President of QA Services at Systems Limited. I think the name is Hasib or something. You will be joining the test drive session for next month. We do this every last Saturday of the month. So we're doing the same for the month of August as well. And yeah, it's lots of amazing things. So it's test drive season 2 now. Lots of amazing things that you can expect. One more thing, if you're here to sign up on Scandium, please, it's an opportunity for you to do that. You can check out the link in the box. Sign up on Scandium and try this out. On the Slack channel, you can ask questions if you have any about how to use it better. Yeah, it is free to sign up actually. Yeah, there is more access for premium users, enterprise users, but then it is free. Somebody wants to ask a question about Scandium Fellowship. Scandium Fellowship would kickstart before the end of August. Announcements, congratulatory messages to people who have been successfully selected would go out before the end of next week. So you can check out your mail if you applied and you took the test and you participated in the different stages. If you have been selected, you should get a mail from us before the end of next week. And then you also get the details about participating in the event. And it's not the end. Even people that are not selected, we'll try to see how to accommodate them. Maybe not exactly as fellows, but we'll see what we can do together. And maybe that also be an opportunity for you to participate in the next cohort. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you very much for staying through since the beginning till the end. It's been 2 great hours of awesome, insightful sessions and games. Thank you very much for coming. We look forward to seeing you. Please join Slack so we can continue to interact. HMI is coming up with a lot of amazing things, that we can do together on Slack and keep ourselves engaged. You don't want to miss that. Follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Twitter. You can do all of this and we'll keep conversation. And yes, please check out YouTube for videos about how to use Scandium. You can do a lot of things. Do mobile testing, do API testing, do web testing with Scandium. Thank you again to our amazing guest speakers, Mobolaji of Coronation Registrars, Demola from Testing Academy, and Unyime from Assuredly. It was awesome. It was wonderful. It was spectacular. I could go on and on with adjectives to describe how amazing the session was, but I'm going to just stop here. Thank you guys for joining once again and have a blast. Bye. Yeah, Slack link. Ibrahim, please drop Slack link in chat again so that people can join. Thank you. Just dropped it.